Welcome to Smart Living Podcast. I do have to do a little self promotion. So recently, Smart Living Podcast has been voted the top 10 best frugal podcast from Yahoo Finance. So thanks for listening in and thanks for supporting today's episode. So we are in the middle of summer here in Arizona. I've been on a hiatus for about 2 months, so I have to get back to recording my Smart Living podcast. But we're going to talk about back to school because a lot of kids are going back to school. So I invited my dear friend, Annie Middlemist, who is a former teacher in the classrooms here in the Valley, who is now an educator consultant. And we're going to talk about ways to save money in the classroom. For teachers, it's all about you. So you're going to love, and also we're going to talk about some places where you can go get some deals when it comes to supplies for the classroom. So Annie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm excited too. So tell me, how many years have you been teaching? Were you teaching in the classroom before you decided to become a consultant?
Oh, heavens. I've probably been in the classroom about 15 years and then training teachers for another 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I know. I look a lot younger than that. But I've spent a lot of time helping teachers be more successful in the classroom. And I've been in the trenches and I've done the back to school shopping for myself and my own kids. And it just really adds up. So connecting your podcast to what I do is perfect for those teachers right now who many are starting school today. Some districts started last week. I can't believe the date is still July and we're talking about this.
Right.
But you don't have to spend what people tell you need to spend. And so that's what today we can talk about.
Well, first, let me start out with this statement. I think it's a bunch of bunk, hardcore bunk, that teachers have to spend money out of their own pocket for supplies for schools. I always say, a business or a company, when you employ your people, you need to supply them with the tools to successfully do their job. But for some reason in society, we seem to think it's okay to pay teachers practically nothing and also require them to make up the slack for the supplies that the schools aren't offering.
And it's the only career I know of where you have to do that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, people who are educators are passionate, and you are definitely passionate about your job, and you are passionate about children. I've known you for years, and you're consistent that way.
That's true.
So thank God for you and for many
Right.
other educators, but we need to start taking care of them. But today, this is not the podcast to do that. But in the meantime, while we have this issue, I'm going to tell you some ways to get around spending so much money on school supplies. So really quick, before we get started, you do consulting for educators. But the other thing that you also do is you also have a podcast yourself, right?
I do. It's called Leave It at the Door. It's a podcast for educators because we take so much home with us, so much baggage that comes into like you said, caring about the kids, right? So you have their stories and that's heavy and their struggles. And then you go home with a bag of stuff and you're trying to build up and then going back. And that's why teachers are burning out. The average teacher quits within 5 years of starting.
Oh my
quits
God.
the whole career. So we have to do something to take care of ourselves as teachers. So we want to stay in the career that really called us to work with those kids.
Well, I love that you've taken your experience, just like I've taken my life experience, and now we're going around and we're sharing it. So let's talk about some things and ways that teachers can, save money in the classroom. So being that you've been an educator and you've been in the classroom, what are the things that these teachers are spending their money on and that they're not getting funding for?
So much. So the first thing to think about that I really want to put into teachers' heads is you're not decorating a dorm room, you're decorating a learning environment.
Okay.
Because if you go anywhere on social media right now, there's super cute little teachers that are decorating all their stuff with neon signs and fake flowers and paper flowers. That does not encourage learning. In fact, it hinders learning if you have too much stuff in the classroom.
Okay.
So the most productive classrooms are simple. We want our kids not to be stimulated in the room. We really want them to be calm.
Right. That makes
so
sense.
they can learn and hear from us.
Right.
So keep the walls more blank and fill them with their work. Let them see themselves represented on those walls of things they're proud of, not filling every nook and cranny with color-coded everything. So that's my first thing is don't follow people's Instagram's account and go to all those Amazon links. You're going to throw it away at the end of the year, and it's cluttering up your classroom.
And not only that, that's your good hard-earned money that you should be spending on yourself, not your students.
Oh, 100%. So from the National Education Association, when they did these surveys of teachers, they said, teachers spend between $500 and $750 getting ready for back to school. I've seen more surveys that are more about $1,000, $1,300. I was probably more in the $1,000 range because they'll give me a set of pencils. I'm out of pencils. I don't know where pencils go. They're out of pencils, and I say, do we have more? They're like, well, we gave you pencils. What am I going to do? I'm obviously going to go buy them.
Really?
And that's the whole thinking is why do we need to give teachers all this money when they're going to buy it anyway? Which is not cool.
Wow.
But we buy shoes for our kids. I mean, dry erase markers. Like, there's just things that we always are replenishing in our classroom.
So you're saying, no, don't do that.
Change your mindset first.
Okay.
Settle down with the decorations and just think, what do I want my kids to learn? And what needs to be on the wall to stimulate that?
Oh my God, I love this
and go
advice.
from there. But really look at your classroom as a learning environment and a calming, safe space. You keep those things in mind, and you're going to have a lovely classroom.
Learning environment, calm, safe space. So what I'm thinking of, simplicity.
Yes.
Okay, that's
order, tidiness. Yeah, keep it simple. And
decorate it throughout the school year with the work that your students do, so that can validate them.
Yes, and putting up, if you don't have a big window, which many classrooms don't have big windows anymore, put up a big poster of nature. That's not going to change throughout the year. It's not going to wear out, but it brings a sense of calm.
Okay.
Spend your money on plants. Plants, learning goes up to 16% when you have a natural, calm environment. 16%.
Wow.
So spend your money on plants. Spend your money on lovely
plants
things,
that you're going to take
trash.
home. Like,
Sure.
get a plant from your home,
Right.
bring it in for the classroom year,
Yep.
then take it home when you're done.
Yeah.
Because it was yours.
Right, and the kids learn responsibility, caring for it,
Yeah.
right? It's all those things.
Or we could even get a little bit crazier, and you can go to the Phoenix Public Library. They have free seeds, and you can get a packet, I think up to 3 packets every 3 weeks for free from the library.
Perfect.
You can get that and have your students
Yeah.
do some of that, planting and gardening. That's part of learning too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what's another thing that you always advise teachers on when it comes to?
Instead of reinventing the wheel, I went on, just this week, even preparing for this, I just went on OfferUp and typed in classroom materials. And there are so many teachers out there who are leaving the industry who are
Giving away stuff.
a lot of stuff.
Okay.
A lot of really nice stuff. They have been paying for storage units every summer for their whole career, and now they need to get rid of it. And it's beautiful. Teachers, we take care of our stuff. So it's lovely stuff. And start there. Start with OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace and see what you like. But again, go easy on it. Your walls don't have to be covered. Look at your house. You do not have posters and pictures edge to edge to edge to edge across your house, right?
True. Which leads me to a place. I want to give a little tip real quick.
Yes.
So I don't know if a lot of teachers are aware of this, or educators. You don't necessarily have to be a classroom traditional teacher. You just have to be an educator. And I'm an educator. I teach my Grocery Guru class. So you can go to Treasures for Teachers. So it's Treasures with the numeric 4 teachers. They have a location in Tempe. They've been around for, I think, 15 years. And I just talked to the new board member. And basically what it is all businesses, they donate all of their supplies to Treasures for Teachers. And then they sell that stuff or either repurpose it. If you go there, they have so much free stuff or crafts. I mean, anything that you could possibly think of that you need for a classroom, they have it there for nothing. It is a win-win organization, nonprofit all the way around, and they are super supportive of teachers in that way. The other thing too, teachers, if you're done with those school supplies, donate them to Treasures for Teachers.
Perfect.
I mean, it's an excellent organization.
Yes.
And all the things that Annie and I are mentioning, including her podcast, if you go to my blog, which I always have follow-up information at smartshopperdaphne.com, you'll get the links to all the things we're mentioning, so you don't need to write this down.
Right.
So,
exactly.
have you been to Treasures for Teachers?
I think I've been there once when they first opened.
Yeah.
It was very small, didn't really
It's
have
huge
what I
now.
needed. Now it's huge. They have a membership. It's $35 a year,
$35, right.
right, to belong to it. And it's
But you have
just
to be an
such a
educator.
gift. Yes.
But they also switched around. For additional $10, $45, you can also shop there if you're not an educator.
Oh, interesting.
So I like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a new
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. And that's really, hopefully, the trend that we are really going through is upcycling, recycling.
Yes.
Like, we don't need to keep buying all the new things. And, and also teachers have a web page with their school. Almost every teacher has their own page, Meet Mrs. M, and has all the cute stuff and what we're
Really?
studying and homework links. They can get the
Really?
worksheet that your child never brings home.
Now, do they
right?
make up their own website, or is it
They
the
give
teacher?
us a page and a template, and then we create it.
Okay.
But on that, always have your wish list. Always have your wish list on there for things you need.
Oh, wow.
Why not?
Right.
You have a captive audience who wants to support their child in your classroom. And if they're coming at car line or saying, hey, what do you need? You don't have that on the top of your head. Put together that Amazon wish list. Send them the link out. send the link out to your friends and family. I've already supplied several classrooms this year alone because they posted on social media their Amazon wish list.
Okay.
People
Or just
help.
wish lists in general.
Yeah,
It doesn't
people
have to
wanna
be
help.
Amazon, does it?
No, that's what I've been getting.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do a whole podcast on Amazon, how they're price gouging us. But anyways, that's another story. But I get what you're saying. So that's something I didn't know. That's really useful information. So nowadays, teachers have their own website, which is provided by the school district they teach for. Then teachers can create that website for information for their students to get, but add, hey, by the way, I need some pencils, parents.
Right.
And let the parents donate the
Right.
stuff. I love that's a great
and
idea.
we're picky about what we like. So as a parent, please follow what they're asking for. Do not send me generic pencils. I need the Dixon Ticonderoga pencil.
Right.
Big plug. The eraser doesn't tear the paper. And ask any teacher. We are control freaks. And so when they ask you to get something, don't say, I found this, it was a little cheaper. We know what we're doing.
Right. Yes.
A little
100%.
plug for it.
So I love that. So couple things. Keep the classroom simple and calm.
Yes.
And then also when it comes to finding supplies, reach out to other teachers who are probably selling their stuff, because so many have left the industry because it's really tough for teachers nowadays with all the requirements that they're required to do and being forced to teach things that are not necessarily teachable, in my opinion. But so you have that. So check out OfferUp. Also, Facebook Marketplace is a great place for resources.
Absolutely.
And Treasures for Teachers.
Yes, those
that's
are 3
another one.
really great resources. And when you're designing your classroom, think less decorating and more designing a learning environment.
Got it.
Shift your mindset, because if you go anywhere on social media right now, it is all these decorated classrooms. There's not one academic thing in that room. It is bins, it is cute curtains and pillows and
Which is ridiculous.
we need to meet some milestones. We have a job to do in that room.
Right.
And the more calm you can keep it when those kids come in and they're so excited, they're 6, 7, 8 years old and they're bouncing off the walls, bring in some calm to them.
I'll tell you, you should go and try and get a contract with our government and tell them how they can redesign our whole education system. I'm telling you, you've got some really good ideas there, Annie.
Thank you. That's so nice of you.
Okay, what else you got?
Trading out with students. First of all, when you go in, go to the main office, go to your principal and ask if there's a storage room. Look there first. There's always a room where teachers throw their stuff and they often leave, pretend they didn't throw their stuff in there. Or there's sets of books that you were just about to order, but you want to do a Roald Dahl series or something. Go in and ask where that stuff is and go through that stuff. And then ask what kind of a budget there is. What things, ask the school, what will you buy me? What am I allowed to use your funds for to build my classroom before you go out and spend your own money?
Yes.
Because I've gone out and bought stuff and then I come into a school and they say, oh, no, hon, we provide that. They're right over in the 3rd drawer. We already have a 3-hole punch. You didn't need to buy that. But we're so busy setting up our classroom, we're not looking to the obvious source, which is literally across campus in the office.
So bottom line is ask your district what supplies you have before you go run out to the store.
Yeah.
I like
See
that.
what's there.
Okay. One of the things I also wanted to mention was my friend Charlene, who works for APS, had sent me, I did a little Facebook posting asking people to share some ways that they can help teachers save money. And she was saying that APS, is it APS or SRP? APS, but the school has to be in an APS service area. And if it is, which is a good portion of the valley, teachers can enter to win a drawing. And Charlene basically told me that no teachers actually ever enter. And they give 500 teachers $500 each for entering. And I'll have a link to on my blog for that. But it's through APS. And I thought that was a great little program. So 500 teachers can get $500 from simply entering into a drawing.
Right. Yeah. So enter into the drawing. It's always worth, who doesn't want to be surprised with $500?
Right.
And it just takes a minute.
Right.
So,
and they have to use the money on the classroom. You can't go out to dinner. You have to actually use the money on the students. Even though I would encourage it, but that's probably not ethical.
And you wouldn't. Knowing the teachers I know, you wouldn't, because you need something for your classroom.
Right. That's true. Yes.
Yes. Bringing in snacks, like when kids are hungry. A lot of those kids commute to school at 6 a.m. Even if they get free breakfast at school, they're hungry. So I always had a refrigerator filled with sliced apples and granola bars, and that's the stuff teachers are providing.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Because if a well-fed child can learn.
Yes. And we also have a lot of funding cuts that are coming. And recently, I know that there was something like $5.5 billion that our current government decided to pull that all these school systems were going to get starting July 1st. And all of a sudden, June 30th, they're like, we're going to go ahead and review everything. But they finally released those funds just the other day. We are now July, at the end of July. These schools are starting. I just can't believe the sabotage that occurs. It is not supporting our educators. It's not supporting our society by doing this. It is just ridiculous.
Right.
So that makes it even more stressful.
And speaking of that money, keep your receipts for all that stuff that you buy, because you can write off $300 a year on your taxes.
Okay.
Just as being a teacher, $600 if you're filing jointly. So
That's
keep
good to know,
those
Annie.
receipts,
look at you.
and you can recoup some of that money. I mean, it was always funny, when my husband and I are both teachers, and he'd say, "Well, how much do you think you spent this year?" I'm like, "Oh, friend, go ahead and write off the $300. I think I can defend it pretty easily."
It's more like $1,000 probably, right?
But it is, don't forget, when you're filing your taxes, you can write off $300 for the supplies that you bought.
That's fantastic advice. So, okay, one other thing I want to throw in here, and I'm going to kind of get a smidge off of topic here. We're still going to talk about money saving for teachers, but I want to talk about back to school for kids that are going back to school.
Sure. For supplying your child for back to school?
Yeah, and I can share some of those. Like, where are great places to get school supplies? I mean, I can answer that question, but do you know?
Yeah. Again, assess what you have at home. Don't just get that supply list that the school sends, and they're printed, I think, in every Target and Staples. They print those supply lists for you even in the stores. But when you look at it, first go through that craft cabinet.
These are for students. These are for students also.
Go through your craft cabinet at home and see what you have. Do you have a set of markers? A lot of those go into a community pile. So if you can't afford the markers and there's just some stuff where you go, do I really like scissors? Ask the school and say, is there any financial support for this? You're not alone. It's nothing to be embarrassed about whatsoever, because I opened some of those cabinets and I see 400 glue sticks. And then the next year we put it on the supply list. They need to bring glue sticks. Why? We don't have room for the glue sticks we have. Go ahead and say, I can't do this right now, but I'll supply as I go. No one is going to be upset about that. The kids aren't going to be embarrassed. Look at their backpack. Is it in good shape? Can you put patches on it, make it fun and decorate it? There's just so many easy ways to get around that list, but also don't fall for, one store will say we have 20-cent folders. Mm-hmm. You go, I need 4 folders. I'll go there. But everything else is
right. It's called lost leaders. That's what they call that, lost leaders.
Yes, and there you are in your hot car, in and out with your kid who's bouncing off the walls because they're about to back to school. I was just in Target the other day. It was just like ping pong balls bouncing all over the store. They're so excited about back to school. The parents are losing their minds. And I just quietly walked past I survived that. I'm going on. But, just see what you have first before and then buy those personal things that they need, like the zipper binder. Yes, they each need a zipper binder because that's what they will carry around. But as far as glue sticks and scissors and stuff, a lot of that goes into a community bin. So you can take your time on that. And honestly, as a teacher, I would love people to bring in more supplies in January because we've worn so much out. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love new stuff in January. That's when we really need it. So kind of think of how to do those kind of things as well.
Well, I know with back to school stuff, I've done many stories over the year on where's your best place to get brand new back to school supplies. And we've done many comparison. You're absolutely right. So many stores, Walmart, Target, all of your major players when it comes to that will have loss leaders, Staples too. They'll have loss leaders where they sell things for dirt cheap to get you in the store. So you'll buy the overpriced stuff. Be disciplined. Go to the store, get the stuff that is sold dirt cheap, and then go to the next store. That would be my advice.
And ask yourself, how much is my time worth?
Right. My time's worth nothing.
Is my time worth those $3?
My time is worth nothing. I am fine to save 20 cents. I'm being funny.
I'm not saving the money.
But that's one of the things. So I'll head over to 20th Street in Camelback where there's a Staples there. Target's not too far from there. Yeah. And then Walmart. Now, I will say hands down, every time we did a back to school story, Walmart really had the best prices overall.
They are always rated the top.
They always have the best prices overall. I don't know if they do matching anymore. I know during the pandemic, a lot of retailers kind of stopped doing price matching that way. But hands down, that's going to be a good place to go if you have to get something new. But Annie had the best advice. I mean, ask your friends too. Your friends who have kids that are all grown up or just finished school, ask them, go, hey, you got any old school supplies I can have to save yourself some money? Yeah. So some great things there. So thank you. I just wanted to talk about students too also.
And order pickup on Target so that the kids God bless them, go distracted and be like, Mom, but I need a pencil case. You don't need to go through that. Order it online, go through the supply list, go pick it up.
Right. And I wouldn't say Target. Target is very overpriced on school supplies. I mean, year after year after year, they were absolutely the most expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, they really were. It was often Walmart that beat in Staples too. So I didn't see them as a big player.
Yeah, and if it's just to the pickup, the kids aren't going to get distracted. I mean, just yesterday I was just giggling about all the drama.
But it's so fun, Annie. You're taking away the joy of being a child.
I know.
By taking school. I mean, I looked forward to that. I mean, my daughter, Alexis, oh my God. She would be like bugging me in June to go get school supplies. Yeah. It was so cute.
And when they can learn to read and they read the list.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh my God, it's so
if
great.
you have fun doing that, that's fantastic. As a teacher who's going back to school and then taking my kids, there's only so much I can take.
That's so great.
So it's to just, take care of you first. I mean, you have to fill your tank to take care of the kids and get them off to school.
I love this. Well, Annie, I'm going to wrap this up because I always feel that we're just not that interesting after 20 or 30 minutes. Which, ironically, I want to let you know, I was listening to a podcast the other day. We live in such a political environment now. I'm listening to all these podcasts that all these people who think differently than I do listen to. Some of these podcasts are like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I'm not going to do that. I just don't find that information.
No, my podcast never goes over 20, 25 minutes max, usually about 15 minutes. I try to do the average commute so you can listen to it on the way to work. So that's how I base it, is can I get in my car and finish your podcast before I get to work?
Perfect. I love it.
That's my goal.
I love it. Well, Annie, I appreciate you taking the time and giving us, that was some fantastic advice.
Thank you.
You are going to soar with your new career as a consultant.
Thank you.
I think you're going to do fantastic. And I hope a lot of educators listen to this and know that this woman is going to give you some real honest advice, especially in the world that we live in, where we're going to get funding cuts for children are in special education. And that is definitely your specialty there.
Absolutely. And if you go on my website, which Daphne will put in the show notes of anniemiddlemist.com, you can find how to bring me to your school and do those presentations for accommodating IEPs in your classroom, helping those special ed kids, and really keeping your teachers. I worked at a school a few years ago. We lost 9 teachers in the second half of the year.
Oh my God.
They walked out. No notice. That's not unique. There are teachers quitting mid-year.
It's happening.
They're not going back. There's a huge shortage. So what I want to do is go into schools and help those teachers find their peace and enjoy their calling so they stay longer and those kids get a more stable learning environment.
And society. Let me just remind you one thing. We are not going to be here forever. The children that are behind us, they're the ones that are going to be in charge of this world. Let them get educated, please. And not just the education that you feel they should have, the actual education that we all have gotten. Okay? So, Annie, I will have all the links to the information that we mentioned, Treasures for Teachers, how to get a hold of, what's the name of your podcast one more time?
Leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door. I'll have a link to that, which, by the way, it is actually a very informative podcast, especially if you're a teacher. I've listened to it. So just head to my blog at smartshopperdaphne.com. And don't forget, folks, I'm Daphne Monroe, your smart shopper.